PJ. How you doing, sir? I'm the wrong way round, aren't I?
How's it going? You're on your side, man.
The wrong way round. It's the story of my life. I'm the wrong way round.
How's it going?
Yeah, very well, man. Let's get the right way round. Brilliant.
Can you see
Ah,
me all right?
anyway, that feels better. That feels better. I mean, some days you do just wake up and you're like, the world's the wrong way round. And sometimes it's like, no, I'm the wrong way round.
We're starting deep. The world's the wrong way around.
That's good. I like that. That's good.
So
Um,
how's things all right?
Fine, man, not too bad. I mean, it's good to see your smiling face. That's making the day all the better. But things are fine, man. Not bad at all. Plenty of inspiration for songwriting and plenty of time for reading books. So it's all
Uh,
right.
Good.
Never,
And America's treating you well.
wonderfully. I mean, staying off the burgers, the cheeseburgers, plenty of long walks and salads. I'm a changed man.
Aye.
Aye. I mean, initially it was all burgers and beers, but no, living healthy feels good.
Good man. Good man.
I mean, I know a lot of folk are getting plowed into the booze now, but I don't think it's the way.
I've not touched a drop in 3 years, man.
There you go, there you
There
go.
you go. Clean living.
Aye, it's the way, it's the way. I mean, what age are you, sir?
33.
There you go. The whole mythology about music and being a party animal and no making it past 27, it's absolute nonsense, isn't it?
Anyone that knows me and you as well know that I'm absolutely hopeless in drink anyway, so no one's listening much. I can't handle it.
It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. No, thanks very much for coming on for a wee conversation today. Been looking
Not a
forward.
problem, man. Happy to.
Yeah, good to talk about the band and your band, Cullen.
I'll do my best.
Smashing. Your band is Cullen, and although I'd like known you, through the musical grapevine, through living in Ayrshire, basically, I hadn't really properly talked to you until we met on Outlaw King, the film
Yep.
out a couple of years ago,
hmm
and it was a magic opportunity to get to know you better and get to
Aye.
know the music better as well.
hmm
Um, with Colin, I mean, I'd heard a lot of people talking about you guys in Scottish music circles, and obviously I saw that you won the Scottish Alternative Music Award. Was that Best Live Act, Best Rock Band?
Best rock, it was, yeah, 2000, was that 14? 2014 maybe? Yeah. Aye, best rock, I think, yeah, that's what it was.
Very cool. So, Colin, where does the name Colin come from? Because I remember, I remember wondering that, and if there was any kind of Gaelic influence there or not.
Well, we were in bands obviously, just like most of us growing up in school bands and playing at your talent concerts and all that sort of stuff. And then we had a kind of line-up change and we decided we'll just try and we'll change things up. As well as the line-up, we'll have a new name. And we wanted something just sort of punchy that people would remember. That it's, yeah, so obviously me and Sean, we're half Irish, so there is that sort of kind of Celtic influence. So basically, yeah, we chose it it's from Irish mythology. It's like a Celtic warrior, effectively. People probably better known as Cuchulainn in the Irish kind of, yep, mythological world. But yeah, it's basically that. We wanted a strong name for the new lineup. That's how it kind of came about. That was basically it. It was hard to choose one name, but we thought that kind of represented as well, and it's stuck. So I think that's 13 years, maybe more actually. Been called Cullen. So it's a long time. It's a long time to be in a band together, especially an unsigned band.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of bands last a couple of years and that's it, whether that's through infighting or what, but I mean, 13 years is a significant amount of time.
I think
Um,
so. Yeah, I think so. It's I think it's a lot to do. Obviously, Sean is my brother, who plays drums and sings and writes the music as well. But apart from that, we're friends with each other, which, we're friends first before we were in bands together, which is, I think, maybe that's probably the main reason that we're still in a band. And I don't know, I'm speaking on behalf of myself here, but I don't think I could be in a band with anyone else, if I'm honest, now, after being in this lineup for so long. Just to join like a new band and then I don't think, speaking for myself, it wouldn't interest me at all. So it's one of those ones. Yeah, I mean, we're friends first, basically. So that's, I think, the main reason why it's lasted so long.
Absolutely, it always helps if you really are like a team, a gang, a real group of friends, and not just people that come together to make music. And I feel like you can tell when you're watching bands playing if they're really connecting with each other, if there really is a chemistry there, or it's just a case of going through the motions and bashing out the songs. And when I've seen you guys live, it's absolutely electric. Pardon the pun. Like I can tell you really enjoy playing together, and the between you is incredible. It's bloody brilliant.
Cheers, man. That's nice to hear.
I remember coming to the garage in Glasgow to see you, I think it was last year, playing with The Sweet.
The Sweet, yeah.
You guys totally blew me away. I mean, Sweet, it was amazing. They were great. And my dad, who was there, loved hearing Sweet. But hearing you guys play with such a good sound system as well, it was incredible.
That makes a big difference.
And how did it come about playing with Sweet?
Just, it's kind of, yeah, I can try to kind of rack my mind. For the last couple of years, like, we put on shows ourselves, like, I've kind of booked the venue and all the rest of it, so we kind of veered away from like using sort of kind of promotional companies and promoters in the traditional sense, but we've always had a good relationship with a guy in the Highlands, Steve Robertson, who you might know, obviously runs a lot of gigs in and around Inverness and the Highland areas. And that was a show that he put on and asked us to play, and obviously said, yeah, absolutely. So it's a kind of unorthodox method for us now to go through like a kind of promotions company. But yes, so Steve asked us, and I'm happy to do it. Obviously, we're playing in the garage. We've played the other venues at the garage, the two smaller ones, but the main stage and like you said, the sound system's amazing, lighting and all the rest of it. It was a good experience, and I was surprised that people liked us so much from the Sweets crowd, if you know what I mean. But a lot of guys and folk coming up after it saying that they heard the kind of progressive influence and reminded them of listening to the kind of older prog rock bands back in the day. So that was quite nice. Yeah, it's kind of a surprising reaction personally, but it was good. It was a good night.
It was fantastic. It really was. I enjoyed being there and hanging out with some of the guys that we'd met on Outlaw King, Brian Blakely and Neil John. Was superb.
Mm-hmm.
With playing with Sweet, I mean, like with Cullen, I can't pigeonhole you, nor would I want to anyway, because I think it's lazy to pigeonhole bands, although it happens so often. And I think with your band, it is so impossible to put you in any sort of box, because to me, I can hear like so many. It's just music, that's the thing, but I can hear like so many different styles, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
But it's Cullen.
Well, I suppose maybe like in a roundabout way, we've managed to create that sound without any preconceived ideas about what we're going to sound like or what we want to sound like. It's just ended up that way naturally, which is kind of what you want, is to be original, but it's developing your own sound, and musically it's been influenced by a whole host of different types of bands and musicians and artists. I think the five of us listening to completely different music. That's probably, although we listen to a lot of similar music as well, but we do listen to quite a lot of different stuff, and that's the kind of melting pot, I suppose. But it's sort of distilled down, and then like that sound is the one that comes natural to us. And it's hard because when you're asked in interviews and all the rest of it over the years, like how would you describe your sound? It's a really difficult question to answer. Greg called it folk-gressive rock, which is a good soundbite, because there is a wee bit of folk and obviously there's a good bit of prog. It's just easy just to say rock band, do you know what I mean? Because it is an alternative rock band at the end of the day, but it does have influences from sort of kind of various different genres. Progressive rock sounds pretty nice, right enough to be fair.
Absolutely, you know, it's amazing and also disappointing the way that people try and pigeonhole music. It's really limiting. I mean, you'll get some promoters and festivals that might have some quota somewhere of so many indie rock bands, so many pop, new pop, whatever. I don't know, but ultimately all they're doing is, you know, limiting what people hear, whether that's playlists with music that's all tagged the same way and putting these kind of limits on music and algorithms of putting similar music together it's not great really. I mean,
it's hard because like when we were like maybe 7-8 years ago and we're trying to play a lot more, you know, just on the verge of releasing an album and just consciously try to gig more. We would play on every type of bill you'd imagine, you know, in Glasgow and the surrounding areas, supporting sort of country rock bands, metal bands, punk bands, and you know, like some of the, like one of the worst gigs we've ever played was supporting the UK Subs, the British punk band. Yeah, just it's total, because we're like just a rock band. I mean, we listen to punk music and enjoy it, but we're not a punk band. So when you play like a gig like that, it's just, I mean, it's lead balloon stuff. So, aye, we get the sarcastic slow clap after a few of the songs. It's a bit terrifying, to be honest. We were quite young at the time, but I suppose that serves you in good stead going forward. But aye, because you don't fit perfectly in a box, then, and you're not going to say no to gigs like that when you're younger. You just play as much as you can. So we've been on the broad spectrum right across probably every type of genre. Some of them work, some of them don't work, but the one with the Sweet, you know, they're an old sort of kind of 70s kind of glam rock, I suppose you would call it one, but the roots are rock music, and you know, that actually seemed to blend quite well with probably us supporting older 70s types of bands might actually work if we get more opportunities or if they're still around.
Absolutely. I mean, if there's one word I would use to describe Culann, it's intelligent. Intelligent in a very unpretentious way. There's obviously so much that goes into composing the songs. You know, melodically, it's very. It seems complex, but like in an unpretentious way. There's so much that I don't know. You really need to listen to it several times. Like. Obviously with the great Ecumene, and the songs are so different on it as well. They're so different. I mean, there's nothing samey about it. A lot of bands put out an album and you maybe get 2 kind of singles and the rest are just derivative, whereas it feels like everything's really considered that you produce. There's a lot of care there.
I think maybe certainly with the care aspect of it, it's a time aspect. The songs don't come quickly. We don't really write quickly, and I've got friends in bands, and you might be the same, you might be different, but people write songs very quickly. And I hear people saying, "Oh, I wrote 3 or 4 songs in the last couple of weeks," and I'm just like, I've no idea. It doesn't come naturally, like to write songs that quickly. That doesn't come naturally to me anyway. So they're often years apart of writing 10 songs. It's maybe 3 or 4 years in the making. So I suppose in that way, if you had a deadline on an album, you'd maybe rush through some songs just to make sure you had enough material to record, but it's never been like that. We've always sort of kind of taken our time. Maybe that's worked to our disadvantage sometimes, but you'd rather be happy with the final product. So it took us a while to get the second album out there, and obviously everyone talks about the dreaded second album or second album syndrome, but I think it's much better than the first album, in my opinion.
No, there's a definite progression there. your first album in 2012, was self-titled,
Mm.
Culann, and The Great Ecumene coming out in 2019. Am I pronouncing that properly? You tell me.
The
Ecumene.
Great Ecumen.
There you
I've heard
go.
heard it called Great Ecumene as well, but just whatever floats your boat, man.
Where does that title come from? I mean, I feel like your songs and the titles and the lyrics, it shows passion for literature itself. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I've learned a few new words.
Good. Well, I think that consciously when we're trying to write songs that are about interesting things, I hope, or that at least they're interesting to us, that people maybe, yeah, like you even just said, just within language, words that have not been used in a while or aren't used regularly in people's vocabulary, like, you know, even the word reverie, for example, we were talking about that when we were naming it. And some songs are obviously named more literally in terms of a direct comparison for something, or when you write songs, you don't want to take a line out of the song to call it, you know, although some of that works as well. So, Great Ecumen, I mean, that's a song Sean wrote, and effectively it's just basically about, I mean, the Ecumen is just like a land, effectively. So it's, the Great Ecumen would mean just like a land in total harmony. Everyone and everything together, effectively. So that's what that means. So we found that kind of encompasses the album quite well. Yeah, so that's where that comes from. It's just basically just everything and everyone together.
See, with being Scottish, to what extent do you think that influences your sound on a kind of a musical basis in composition, but also in a heritage basis?
I think, I mean, it's one of those things that it's maybe more on a subconscious level that it filters through into the music rather than talking about a certain rhythmic pattern that's quite Scottish, or trying to write a song within a certain framework to be sort of traditional or whatever. I mean, we listen to a lot of Scottish music and have done, and Irish music growing up, and I think maybe subconsciously it's just filtered through rather than an effort to say, right, I really want to write a song like this songwriter that's Scottish, or I'm going to sing in a certain way that sounds very Scottish, or, you know, it's never a predetermined way of thinking for us to be Scottish. I'm going to be really Scottish, I'm going to write a Scottish song here. It's just, I'm glad that it comes across and people say it comes across, but yeah, there's no sort of kind of conscious effort of being really Scottish. It's hopefully just a natural occurrence. It's just happened, which to me obviously that's better for me, actually.
I mean, that is it. It's like you are Scottish. The band is Scottish. I'm Scottish. I mean, when I first started going to Scottish festivals abroad, I mean, I was kind of thinking to myself, am I being Scottish enough? Which is the most ridiculous thing in the entire world, you know, that almost as if you're worried that you're living up to some perception of Scottishness, which is
Yeah.
which is like not necessarily true. I mean, obviously, a lot of Scottish festivals that I go to and have been to, tends to be a majority of the performers. It's bagpipe rock bands now, bagpipe rock bands. There doesn't seem to be much representation there from just normal rock bands, pop, whatever. That just happens to come from Scotland. You know,
So is it more like a gimmick of being Scottish, that we need to throw like bagpipes in this to make it be Scottish or sound Scottish, or whatever? That's what you're saying,
it's a definite aesthetic that gets pushed and
right?
promoted, whether that's consciously or indirectly. But you know, we are so much more. Although bagpipes are amazing, we
Mm-hmm.
are
Absolutely.
so much more than traditional folk music as well.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it would be great to see more contemporary interpretations or um, of Scottish music rather than what I feel gets promoted.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, and you touched on it there. I mean, when you write music and you sort of kind of second guess yourself, I suppose, when you're playing live or within that environment. The best thing within music is honesty. So if you're honest about who you are, and I think the art kind of ends up speaking for itself, rather than forced to be a certain way, or to sound like a certain band, or to sing like a certain singer. I mean, I'm obviously all for people being influenced by each other, but honesty is the best policy, and that goes for music as well. I think it comes across, I think, when people are honest about songs they write and styles.
Absolutely. Even, some bands, some songwriters do write, purely from a commercial kind of perspective because they think this is sounds like popular music right now or whatever.
Yeah,
And you're doing that, it's not really going to have any sort of shelf life because it's only directed at what's popular right now.
yeah. I mean, I think we gave up a long time ago on being sort of popular, from the perspective of within like a Glasgow or Scottish music scene, within the sort of popular bands and the cool bands. And the sort of reaction to that is that you end up, no, I'm not saying that you don't care, but you kind of just go with it and you enjoy yourself without any sort of regrets about the type of music that you write, or the gigs that you choose to play. And then in a roundabout way, you end up becoming a wee bit more popular anyway, because I think people see that you're authentic and you care about what you do, but you're not really, trying to be cool, or trying to be a certain trying to be a certain band or copy a certain band. You're just being who you are. And in a roundabout way, obviously, we've now gathered a good kind of small kind of cult following that sometimes even at gigs now, I still can't believe, because we've played all the gigs back in the day to a man and his dog. I think everyone has, obviously, but it's not like we're in superstardom or anything. But sometimes even kind of small venues that are packed out, I still kind of can't believe it, to be honest. So I'm always very grateful for what we have. But I think that's a byproduct of us just being honest and writing music that we like first and foremost, and then it comes across, rather than, again, trying to be someone else, or be a band that we're not.
Absolutely. No, I see it every couple of years, sections of the music in Scotland pushing a pop act or a pop band or whatever, and I think, they might look as if they're trying really hard to be cool, is what I think a lot of the time, and the sound, it sounds so generic for the moment. I don't hear a lot original about it. It's almost as if, people in the media can be quite afraid to champion what really is new, or what isn't fitting into the current kind of narrative.
Yeah, I think when we were growing up as well, and we'd send music to everyone, some of the things that you got back, it's just a pre-typed email. Just continue what you're doing, but be original. And sometimes you listen to things and you're like, that's not original. That's what you're telling us to be. But they sound like another 10 artists that I've just listened to, which is fine. That's their choice, and that's what they enjoy doing. But you can't really say that, oh, that's really original, when it sounds like a carbon copy of a lot of things. So I don't know. I can't kind of disenfranchise with all that type of thing. And again, it's like pleasing people. You just have to kind of, I don't know, champion yourself sometimes.
Absolutely. Have you ever been to one of these music industry conference things where it's like they have a bunch of speakers on a panel, and then they maybe do have a wee A&R section where somebody that maybe works in London's came up to Glasgow, listens to the CDs, and then tells you what you need to change about your music?
I've been to one. I think Sean's been to one or two as well. It's a bit reductive, I think, sometimes. I think a lot of people, especially when you're younger, I think a lot of people take things to heart, and it can kind of crush a lot of younger people, and a lot of younger bands can crush their spirit a wee bit. And I guess that's the advice I would give to anyone, is, again, just champion yourselves at the end of the day, and hopefully it comes across in the music and live. I think that's important as well. If you're, like you said, if you see a band enjoying themselves and getting into it, enjoying their own music and being passionate about it, it comes across. And then in turn, more people like them, the band will hopefully do different things. But some of those things are, I think they do more harm than good quite a lot of the time.
Absolutely. No, it's important, as you're saying, to be authentic, do your own thing. if people like it for you being you, they'll come on board, and that can only grow rather than trying to fit whatever the narrative is that's being pushed.
Absolutely. And you know, if you're a good live band, there's some of the best things that I personally came away with gigs. People come up to you and they'll be like, "Listen, that's not really my type of music, but I really enjoyed the set. I really enjoyed like how tight you were as a band, or whatever." Sometimes I actually enjoy that more than someone that's really into your music. Someone coming up and saying, "I don't normally listen to that, but I really enjoyed that." I think that's quite a nice thing to experience. But again, that's just believing in yourself a wee bit. And the more you play, the better you are. Obviously, live, and you get more confidence in being on stage. And I think we've all improved with that. I suppose we'd need to have improved it for 13 years down the line, and we're still hopeless.
Well, aye, which can happen and doesn't happen to some, but as long as they enjoy it. What was happening with the band before all this madness? What were you working on before this?
We actually weren't really working on much, to be honest. We played a gig at the end of February in Glasgow at the Attic, the Garage Attic, which was great. Really enjoyed it. With a good few support bands on, and it was sold out, which was nice, and just really good night. Enjoyed playing. Kind of played a blend of old and new, which was nice. And then I think we recorded a podcast just before that gig. I think it was the week before that gig with guys from Music Scramble, which obviously if you're into some podcasts, get onto them. They do a lot of good stuff for the kind of local Scottish music scene, support a lot of bands, champion a lot of artists. So we done that, and it was me and Greg, and as we were driving back, we were like, what are we going to do in terms of new music? Because we weren't really writing or anything. And then it was just a case of, why don't we do an EP? Because the album takes its toll, you know. Sometimes, like, Greg obviously mixes it, and he spends a lot of time mixing it. He's meticulous with things, which can just consume you. So I think maybe the next thing is recording, maybe release an EP whenever we can. But strangely enough, being in lockdown or whatever it's been quite productive. There's a lot of music going back and forth between the band, and I've written the kind of bones of 2 songs. Sean's working on a song, so I've actually not written any music in years. So it's actually became more productive than normally.
It's very, very cool, absolutely. What's the best gig that you've ever played, and also the best gig that you've ever been to as a fan?
The best gig that we ever played, believe it or not, was at Broadcast. You ever played Broadcast in Glasgow?
Quite a nice wee place. It's in fact good feel to it.
It was a summer, I think it was 2013, summer 2000, it was boiling hot, man. It was an absolute sweatbox. And it was the first night I ever really noticed anyone singing the music back to us. It's the first night the crowds were into it and all the rest of it before, but I think we just released the album, people were kind of consuming it and enjoying it. So it was the first night I ever really noticed that sort of kind of crowd interaction, if you like, singing songs back to you. And I kind of left the gig feeling on top of the world, and that was I think that was a changing point for the band, that gig, because the crowd started to get a wee bit bigger and more. I think they enjoyed it more. I think we enjoyed it more. So that's probably, like, it's just because it was a turning point. You know, I've enjoyed playing album launches and supporting good bands and everything, but I think, personally speaking, that's probably my favourite gig we've played.
A smashing venue, and it must be a great feeling when people are singing all together in unison, singing lyrics that have came from you and songs the band are playing. I mean, that it must be an amazing feeling.
It's pretty strange. Even now, I find it quite weird. I mean, you go to a lot of gigs and we hear that all the time, but when it's like I said before, I'm kind of still surprised that people are kind of into the band. I've always been surprised, and it continues to surprise me. And I think I always feel like that, to be honest.
Mixture of, like, humility, or does it just blow your mind?
when people sing the lyrics you've written or whatever back to you, it's quite a strange experience. I mean, I never expected it to happen to our band, but it doesn't. It's quite a strange experience. I don't really know how to describe it, to be honest. It's very, very nice.
What's the weirdest, the strangest, or most out there thing that's ever happened with your band? Every band, weird stories of.
We were driving. We used to tow a trailer with all our gear. I mean, all our gear. The entire backline, and it was somebody had patched it up, and it was half wooden, half metal. It was fucking falling apart, to be honest. But it was a big bright red trailer, and we were driving to a gig at the 13th Note in Glasgow, and just as we were approaching the Kingston Bridge, the trailer fell off the back of the car, and I was driving. I felt the car kind of move. I was like, I wonder what that is, and I looked in the rear view mirror, and there was sparks because obviously the part of the trailer attaches to the car nosedived, and there was sparks all over the road. There was cars swerving it, and I honestly thought somebody was going to get killed. And that's the kind of. I was like then sort of following. I slowed down, and I was like stopping the trailer from going into other lanes by trying to hit our car. But when that was happening, I was like, somebody's going to die here. The crazy thing is, no one, like, nothing happened. No police, nobody pulled us over. We just reattached it and fucking drove to the 13th Note and played the gig. Drove home about 13 mile an hour.
Jesus Christ, that's worthy of a song. It's Disaster on the Kingston Bridge.
Fucking, and the Kingston Bridge as well, I mean, you couldn't get busier driving up to Glasgow. Absolutely mental, but that was the craziest thing that sort of has happened to it. I mean, it's not really band. I suppose it is band related, but that was mental to see. That's fucking.
Thank goodness, a big trailer having all the gear in it.
Well, I mean, the trailer was huge. I'm surprised it didn't even touch another car. It was busy. We were going up to play, so like your load-in stuff. If you're playing, you're up there 4 o'clock, maybe 5 o'clock or whatever. So it's the road's busy. Never hit one car. Reattached it, drove away. No one ever spoke to us about anything.
See, that would have been a good story.
What do you mean? Would it be? It is a good story.
Well, it is a good story right now, but
I thought I'd save it. For a moment like this. You see.
Absolutely. What's your favourite Scottish band, or who are some of your own personal favourite Scottish bands?
We played a gig years ago in Edinburgh. Just like in a small local band night, and the band supported us called Miasma. And I just couldn't believe what I was hearing. They were like the best unsigned band I've ever heard, pretty much live. And I was like, what the fuck are they doing supporting us? Bought their album after it. Really nice guys. Speak to Alexander now and again. We've got an album called Feathered Feet. They're not a band anymore, unfortunately, but they're the best unsigned Scottish band I've seen.
Spell that?
Miasma, Miasma, Miasma.
I'll check them out. Miasma.
Yeah, so they were amazing. Their albums on Spotify and iTunes, I think, and everything, but they're the best sort of unsigned Scottish band I've seen live. Again, just absolutely blew me away. Just couldn't, and shite for us because obviously we're on after them. And I'm like, oh fuck's sake, man. But no, it was,
if somebody and you think they're incredible and you're on next to that.
I know.
Okay.
I know. Chiting yourself, but so Miasma, I've always sort of kind of banged the drum for them. Scottish bands, really like Lau, always like Lau. Probably Lau.
Very, very talented, and obviously they're kind of playing with influence of traditional and folk, but it's so much more, It's
so much more. See, seeing them live, just the three of them, it's the sound they can create. It's unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. And they're really nice guys. Obviously, Chris Drever, who himself, obviously a great sort of solo artist as well. And they've all got their own sort of kind of careers. But Lau, probably, my favourite sort of Scottish band to listen to.
What about your favourite venue in Scotland or favourites?
Um,
And music.
smallest favourite venue is the 13th Note. I always like playing the 13th Note, man. Just get a really good kind of grungy underground vibe.
I mean, I can't be places like rock in someone's basement.
Aye, it's good. But just the atmosphere's always good as well. I mean, even when we were like younger and stuff, we weren't playing to kind of get big crowds at all. You get sort of 35, 40 people in there, and it's packed stupid. So I always enjoyed that. So the 13th Note, I think, from a small venue point of view, lucky enough to play the Barrowlands twice. Barrowlands is probably.
Experience.
What are you saying?
How was that as an experience?
It was amazing. The first one was a kind of charity gig. I don't even know how we managed to get on that bill, but the second one was it was a fundraiser for the Clutha, if you remember. Pretty much straight after it. And Frightened Rabbit and Big Country played. It was really, really good just to sort of be a part of that whole night and help kind of fundraise for it. Sort of when we managed to get like a wee sound check that night, and it was just bizarre. It was a bizarre moment, kind of looking down, because I've been to gigs at Barrowlands all my life. Do you know what I mean? Seen some of the best gigs ever in there. So the kind of bigger scale, the Barrowlands probably. The garage is brilliant as well, to be fair. We were meant to be supporting the suite at the O2 at the ABC. Sorry, I was really looking forward to that. But I'd say the Barrowlands probably the best. I think most folk in Scotland will probably say that, won't they? You know, the Barrowlands is the best venue they've been to, or whatever.
I mean, all the bands that I've spoken to, played with, all the rest of it, they all said the Barrowlands. I've never played there, so I have no idea. Maybe one day. But for me, it's been Oran More. I just love it in there. I think
It's nice. It's a nice venue, man. Really good. I seen who did we see in there? Seen Roddy Wimble in there.
Oh, he's smashing, absolutely smashing.
Yeah. So what about you? So, apart from the Oran Moor, what venues are your favourites?
Well, in Scotland, Oran More, definitely. The Queen's Hall in Edinburgh. That's really nice. That feels lovely. Played in there with Hue and Cry a couple of years ago. That was good fun. Best ever experience for me playing was probably a festival in Switzerland called Blue Balls.
Right.
The Blue Balls Festival. I don't know where they got the name from, but the Blue Balls Festival in Luzerne, and it was just such a gorgeous location for a festival. And I was playing on this stage outdoors, and ended up meeting Damien Rice, and he pulled us into his gig, and it was like.
Did you just drop somebody's name there?
I did, aye.
Thought that.
I did so. Ended up bumping into him and then playing at his gig, and it was a big. I love playing in concert halls. I mean, when it happens, well, I like that nice dark room, huge. Compared to
some of the best gigs that we've played have been in urban as well. To be fair, over the years, the last couple that we put on at the Ship, it's been great crack. Really, really good fun. It's not technically a venue, but turn it into one and put a decent sound system in, and just it's been great. We've done 3 fundraisers in there for Mary's Meals, and every one of them has just been kind of wild and just brilliant fun. It's technically not like a venue upstairs there, but it's always been good. So I need to give that a kind of honourable mention as well.
Absolutely. How did the association start with Mary's Meals? Because I saw that you've actually been abroad doing work with them as well. Can you talk a wee bit about that?
We went to Malawi in 2015, I think it was 15. Yeah, can't remember. 14, 15, something like that. With the Celtic Foundation, and when we were over there, linked up with Mary's Meals and done a bit of work, me and Sean out there, and it was good. It's really an amazing charity that you can see where your money's going, and they sort of specialise in obviously trying to kind of give a child like a school meal every day, and that encourages them to go to school. But their parents are involved in kind of helping prepare the meals and source the materials and all that sort of stuff. So it's a really worthwhile charity, and it's worldwide. And it started by a Scottish guy, and I just kind of been associated with it ever since. Raised just a good bit of money for them over the years. So it's got something like me and Sean, obviously our family and the band are quite proud of.
Absolutely. So we first started yapping about this okay film, and which was amazing as an experience. A Robert Louis Bruce film starring our good friend Chris Pine.
A good friend, right? Yep. Do you know him? You know him quite well.
Oh, best pals. I mean, as you can imagine, we're going out for coffee all the time now, aye?
Of course, aye. I heard he likes Missouri.
Oh, loves it. Place to be, place to be.
It was a good experience. Outlaw King. It was fucking it was shite a lot of the time, but it was it was good. It was good in spells, man. We met a few good people. Met a few good people there. Some good memories.
The good bits were great.
The good bits were great. That's probably right. I filter out the shite bits and the things that I don't I don't want to remember anymore. The people I don't want to remember. But no, it was good. It was fun. It was fun.
Aye, and you've worked
It's not a bad film.
productions as well. What else have you been in? I know you didn't always want to associate the film stuff with the music stuff, but it's all very cool.
That's pretty much the only thing I've done. I went to Northern Ireland to do Game of Thrones to be an extra in the Battle of Winterfell episode, which was just went because you're not going because it's like you're going to earn loads of money or anything like that, but you go because you're a fan of the show, basically. And it's just pretty surreal just walking onto like Winterfell. It's pretty cool. I only went for one day, stayed with my family when I was over there, so it was nice.
Very cool.
But I've got
The music that you've made with the band, they are incredible. They are brilliant. They are like little mini films themselves. I was wondering if when you're writing the songs, if you kind of think along visual lines, are you thinking about the process of making the videos as well? Do you get involved in that, doing all the storyboarding? Because they're incredible.
I mean, it's something that I've always kind of been interested in, and you have the ideas, but you don't have the means to do it, if you know what I mean. So it's something that when we make music, and I are involved in making music, I'm always thinking about potential for making a music video. It's we're lucky enough to have made like 5 now, I think, all with the same guy, Stuart, who's been great with us, helped us kind of figure out stuff, especially in the beginning with no idea what we're doing. To obviously the last one, which is probably the most kind of ambitious, that our friend Cal Walker's in, where we kind of stopped the video and we've done a bit of dialogue. But it's always been something I've kind of been interested in and try to make it look a certain way. So you have that kind of idea in your head and you play around with it and talk to other members of the band and Stuart in terms of what you do. It's always ambitious. It's always ambitious, and you just have to go for it and see how much it comes off. But it's always been fun, and I think the videos are good. I think the videos are always really proud of them. The first Grab a Fleck has been in all of them. I tell you a story. Like the first time we kind of get introduced to it, obviously he's from Irvine, but we don't know him or anything. Just a kind of he's kind of reputation and stuff. But he's been in sort of big projects, and we kind of get introduced by a friend of a friend, and he said, "Aye, Rab will meet you. Go down to the pub down the Harbour Lights at the time." And me and Sean walked in, and we're absolutely shaking ourselves to we didn't know what we were going to say. And he's a big figure of a man, and he honestly it couldn't be nicer. He's always enjoyed making the videos. He's always really enthusiastic. First there. He's always got time for it, and he tells like the most amazing stories, obviously. But it's an honour to have Rab in all the videos. He's a really, really sound guy.
Doing some really incredible Scottish films himself.
Yeah,
And
that's
Al Walker, it was in the film as well. I mean, he's got so much charisma. That boy, he'll love me saying that, but it's true. He really does. I think he's really going to go places with his acting career.
you talking about wee Cal, the wee guy, the small fella.
7 foot tall Cal Walker, yeah.
Nah, he's a good lad. He kind of just we tortured him about making that last video because he was in the sea and all sorts. And one of I don't know how many takes it took, but Rab drowns him at the end of the video. There's a good few drowning scenes. I think Rab enjoyed it a wee bit too much, if I'm honest. But I know Cal just went for it. It was brilliant, and he was well paid. I have to say, he was well paid.
Good. That's always nice to hear. What's that? Radar rates or whatever, or equity?
Yeah, aye, something like that.
Fish suppers and iron brew.
Not any of that new shite, man.
So,
I've retired from Iron Brew.
I miss it very much. What would you love to happen for Culann in the future? What would you love to happen?
Just to release more music, man, play decent gigs and have fun. That's it. There's no sort of big end game or anything like that. If we play with some decent bands and record some more music together. Part of the major appeal to us in a band, like when we go away recording, we record up north, just outside Fort William, at a place called Watercolour Studios, run by Nick Turner. It's, I've said it before, it's like a holiday when you get up there, man. It's total solitude. You live next door to the recording studio. There's no signal. You just immerse yourself in recording. It's brilliant. So like, I hope that we record more, especially there. So that's a hope of mine. That's a goal, is to write some more tunes and to get back up there.
Absolutely. And will there be another 7-year wait until the next album, or?
Nah, I don't think so. Think so. The rate that like what's happening at the moment, like I think I was saying to you the other day there, or was it somebody else? I don't know. I've not written a song in 3 years. I've not wrote any music in 3 years. In the space of the last 5 weeks, there's almost 2 songs ready, which is just, it's never happened before, if you know what I mean. It's never ever happened like that. So I can't see it being anywhere near, especially because I don't think we're going to record an album. So you're talking maybe 5 songs, which will be easier to put together.
Aye. Very cool.
See Brian Blake there, up the banner.
Where does that come from? Up the banner. A lot of bands have got a slogan that folks shout at the gigs, and for Culann it's up the banner. Where does that come from?
There's some things you just can't say on camera, do you?
This is true.
You have to leave a wee bit of mystery in life, don't you?
I believe so. I've heard that said. Up the banner. Right. It's a pleasure to speak to you this afternoon, PJ.
So what time's it over there?
Anyone?
Long day ahead, boy.
21.
There's Mick saying hello. I can't read these comments. Can you read these comments?
I can. Aye. How are you going to spend the rest of your day, sir?
It's really exciting. I'm going to have my dinner, man, and go a government-approved walk. That's what's happening. Might do a wee bit of songwriting later on, but no, it's all good.
Are you getting miles in? Do you listen to music when you're out and about, or podcasts?
I've been listening to... What have I been listening to recently? What podcast? I was listening to the Russell Brand podcast recently. That's pretty much it. Nothing too exciting, man.
What about podcast?
Eh?
Culann podcast? Or a...
Nah, man, we're not that interesting or lively enough, I don't think so.
I disagree entirely.
Well, there's my wife. I'll get the dinner on then.
Lovely. I hope it's a smashing dinner. Thanks very much for speaking to me today, man. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, man. Hope you're well and hope everything's going over good over in America.
All good, man. Staying positive, staying healthy, but talking to pals, All the better for it, man. No, it's lovely to speak to you.
Good man. You should get some more. You should get some more folk on for a chat.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Definitely.
I'd love to. Will do, will do.
Good
Take
man.
care, brother. Good to speak to you, PJ. All the very best, brother. All the
Yeah.
best.
Bye bye.
Cheers. Thanks very much, PJ Kelly, for speaking to us. Culann from Ayrshire, fantastic, fantastic band. They get 2 albums out, self-titled album Culann in 2012 and their newest release. The Great Ecumeny in 2019. I'll put the link at the end of the video. They are so good. You've got to check them out. And PJ, lovely guy. Great to speak to him this afternoon. An absolute gentleman. Take care, everybody. I hope you're all doing well.